I'm just going to do a quick restart. Welcome officially. This is the end of our summer school series, and today's session is focused on unlocking efficiency with smarter and automated workflows on Handshake. We don't need to give it any more minutes for people to trickle in. The chat is awesome to see, and we'll jump right in. Okay, once again, my name is Emily Ann Clemens. I'm on our product marketing team here at Handshake and really focus on how we can bring recruiting teams like yourselves the tools that you need to hit your recruiting goals each season and do that in really quick and efficient ways. Before we officially jump into our content today, just a quick reminder about our summer school series raffle. If you attended both sessions, so the webinar that we had last Wednesday, as well as the one happening currently right now, and you are participating in the chat and the Q&A, you will be automatically entered to win some exciting summer swag like you can see here, and we'll be randomly selecting the winners after today's event. So make sure you keep an eye on your inbox for an email from our team. All right, we've got about 25 minutes here today. Here's a quick look at how we'll spend our time together. I'll do a quick kind of setting the stage for why powering recruiter efficiency this fall is so important. We'll dive into some of the new features and capabilities on Handshake that really unlock automated job posting and smarter sourcing workflows for your day-to-day work. We'll see some of this in a live demo in Handshake just to see what those look like in action. And then I'll cover a bit of what's coming soon on our roadmap that will further help you and your teams to be more efficient in your day-to-day work with some new AI features, as well as some platform updates for our Handshake basic users that will come into effect this fall. With that, I'll keep us moving right along here. So for those who are unfamiliar, Handshake's three-sided network is really what sets us apart. We're not just a job board, we are the largest early talent network. And before Handshake, job hunting in college meant logging into a clunky school-specific system. And if a company didn't show up at a career fair or post on a school's specific job board, students never saw that company's brand, their name, or the opportunities that they were promoting. And furthermore, employers and recruiting teams like you all had to register with every single school individually to reach those students. So quite manual, quite tedious. And Handshake really disrupted that model. We unified over 1,500 schools into one network, which led to connecting over 18 million students and alumni, creating the largest verified talent pool with academic data that is synced with their registrar. And today, now over 1 million employers are using Handshake to find and hire qualified early talent every single day. We often say here that everything we do is done to put the student first, and that is quite true. And today I'd like to just start by anchoring on what that student experience may look like. If you're like myself, college it can seem quite far away, and it's like, well, what really is that student journey today? So I want to think about Sarah, a college freshman. From day one, she gets a Handshake account through her school. She starts exploring companies and following brands and different employers, even before she knows exactly what type of job she wants to do, right? By sophomore and junior year, Sarah is going to an event. She is applying to internships. She's connecting with people like yourselves, recruiting teams and recruiters to learn more about their opportunities. And by senior year, she is ready to land a full-time job, with companies that she probably has seen on Handshake for years and months and leading up to that. After graduation, Sarah, ideally, and we've seen this in our data, we know that students are sticking around to find their second and third opportunity on the platform. So if you think about your current activities and workflows, if you're not kind of matching this student journey and what they're expecting and how they're operating, you can miss out on this talent that's taking these actions every week and every semester and every quarter. So with Handshake, you have the opportunity to show up earlier and more often in that early talent journey that we just talked about. So instead of only reaching students once they're already job searching, you can build relationships from day one run brand campaigns with freshmen to really have a brand awareness play. You can speak to sophomores who are really interested in connecting with you about your internships and really have those meaningful touch points as people move up into their junior and senior years. And you want them to know your name and your culture and what your company is about and what opportunities you have. And with Handshake, all of that happens on one platform. We often hear from our employer partners that one of their top challenges is competing with other companies for talent, which makes a ton of sense. And showing up earlier and more often in that student journey really is the key. However, we also know, and simultaneously this is true, that recruitment is a really busy and demanding space. We know that recruiters, the talent acquisition manager, the campus recruiting team wear many different hats and take on many different roles within their specific role. And unfortunately, a lot of those tasks are quite manual. And while they are very necessary for the recruitment process, it can often distract from the larger goal for the company and for the team, which is to source the most qualified talent. So from posting jobs across multiple platforms, entering manual data, trying to maintain a seamless candidate experience, which is really at the heart of what we're all trying to achieve, these really small, tedious tasks can add up, and introducing more automated workflows to your day-to-day work can really boost that efficiency. And this is where Handshake, specifically Handshake's talent engagement suite, can bring everything that you need into one place to efficiently do your job. You can build a standout brand, source the candidates that you need, manage those touch points, and send personalized outreach at scale, all while using real-time insights and analytics to optimize your activities each season. And today, that's what I'd like to focus on, the specific features and capabilities that we've brought into the platform recently that help you to have those smarter, faster, more efficient workflows. All right, before we keep going, I do see that the chat is very active, and I want to take a minute to hear a little bit from you by a quick poll. I believe it just popped up on everyone's screen. If you can take a moment to answer the question. So the poll is, which part of your recruiting process would you most like to automate? Sourcing and targeting, job posting, outreach and messaging, or tracking and reporting? And I think my backstage counterpart here is going to reveal the answers to me in just a moment. But everyone take a minute to answer the poll here. I'd love to hear from you on what you would like to automate in your day-to-day work. And let's see what those answers are. All right, it's a bit close here. The top process that you'd like to automate is sourcing and targeting. We hear this a lot, followed by tracking and reporting, which again goes hand in hand. You're wanting to automate this process of sourcing qualified talent, and then you want to understand what the reporting is like on that and how to do that more easily. This is great. The next one there was outreach and messaging, and then job posting. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to close the poll and keep moving us along here, but great to hear from you. Oh yeah, I see some people couldn't decide between posting and outreach. Yep. All right, thanks for answering. I'll move us along here, and this is a great tee up in terms of talking a bit about some new capabilities that we have to automate the job posting process. And that is our XML job feed. We know, again, that you all spend a lot of time posting jobs, and this is quite literally one of the most important things that you have to do is actually post that role. And Handshake is committed to making the job posting process easier and more efficient for recruiting teams. One way that we're doing this is by automating your job import process to Handshake. And so in addition to ATS integrations that we currently have, we've recently introduced the XML feed functionality, making it easier to automate, or making it possible to automate pulling your jobs from your ATS to Handshake. And the great news here is that the XML feed updates once daily. So any new jobs that are added to your ATS are pulled into Handshake by that daily sync. Additionally, if a job is closed in your ATS, that job will also be closed in Handshake. So this really impacts that, winning candidate experience to make sure there aren't stale jobs and stale job links floating around, which is, again, great in terms of making sure that your brand is kept safe and relevant and not a clunky experience for candidates applying. The other benefit is that, for Handshake, there's no more manually copying those job details into the platform. This really is your automated solution to get your roles posted to Handshake at scale. As you can see, this is a capability available to our Talent Engagement Suite package right now. So I encourage you to talk with your team if this is something of interest. To share a quick win from one of our customers, a mid-size regional grocery retailer who has set up their XML feed. They've reduced over 190 hours of manual work and almost 3x their daily applicants in just 2 months compared to last year with the XML feed. So by automating this job posting flow and reducing those manual workflows, they're saving their team time on an activity that they must do. We understand you have to post the job, and not only saving time, but also seeing great ROI on increasing the applicants because their jobs are now posted to the full network at scale in that really automated way. So we're really excited to see more employers leverage the XML feed to automate job posting to Handshake. Moving right along, let's see what's new and what some of the best practices are for efficient sourcing and making sure that you're reaching qualified talent. I'm going to cover a few. One best practice for building segments, which will be especially helpful as you head into the back to school season. We'll talk a bit about dynamic targeting and how this helps you to reach more qualified candidates who are interested in applying for your roles, and a new feature that just recently launched, screening questions, which many teams have been quite excited about to better filter and manage their candidates, or their applicants rather. So first, as you head into back to school season, we wanted to remind you of one of the more efficient and our recommended way to set up your segment when you're building a job campaign. This functionality is available to both basic and Talent Engagement Suite customers. And excuse me, this is our recommendation because Handshake looks at your job description and auto selects the fields that you may want to use as filters for your segment. We'll see this in just a moment when we walk through this live. But these filters, as you can see here in the screenshot, they can of course be changed, unselected, you can select more and add further filtering. But this really is the quickest way to not only build your segment, but do so with that automated assist that's pulling those fields directly from the job description for the job that you're building the campaign for. From there, you'll follow along in the campaign flow, which is a great segue into one of the new features that comes up next in that campaign flow, which is dynamic targeting. Dynamic targeting is a feature that we launched last fall that not only helps your teams send campaigns at scale, but actually helps reach more qualified, interested candidates each time you send out a message. So dynamic targeting is a feature that is auto-enabled for all Talent Engagement Suite customers. And it works by sending your campaign in batches to test that your message really resonates with the audience in your segment, and then send your campaign or your message specifically to those candidates who are qualified, interested, and likely to apply. What's great about dynamic targeting is that if your campaign is underperforming for some reason, meaning it's not reaching a large enough pool of candidates, Handshake will actually expand your audience to identify talent who maybe weren't in your initial segment to ensure that you're getting enough qualified applicants to help you fill that role. What that means, simply put, is that if you had a major selected and we've identified that there's candidates who meet other criteria because of their skills, their interests, their engagement on the platform, we may relax that major field from your initial segment in order to reach a broader audience of qualified candidates. This is really a win-win feature for recruiting teams. It doesn't require any extra lift on your part. And again, this is automatically toggled on when you build your campaign. So you can trust that Handshake will adapt your campaign to help you reach more qualified pool of candidates. So as your team heads into fall recruiting season, this is really your chance to take the guesswork out of how you reach qualified pools of talent and help you hit your recruiting goals. And from employers who have leveraged dynamic targeting so far, what's great is that we're seeing that it works. Customers using dynamic targeting see up to a 10% increase in applicants, an increase in click rates from job applicants, and they're seeing an increase in sourced applicant rates. So again, really encourage you to keep this feature toggled on and talk with your team more about your strategy for optimizing your campaigns to reach qualified talent, if that's not something that you've talked about so far. All right, I mentioned that we would talk a bit about screening questions, which just recently launched. So once you have attracted those qualified candidates, a lot of the next steps come into the applicant management workflow, right? With our new screening questions, you can either create 3 custom questions that fit your organization's needs, or choose from 3 of the pre-built options like you see in the screenshot here to help you filter applicants instantly based on your role-specific needs. So that could be setting a screening question based on the degree, the certifications, the location, or something else. And you can add and edit these screening questions on any existing job that either has an internal apply or an external apply, or a job that's been ingested by that XML feed that we talked about earlier. This feature is now live for customers on our Handshake Plus plan, as well as Talent Engagement Suite. And so we're really excited to start to bring some more features to our customers that help with that applicant management workflow. See, I'm seeing a lot of great questions in the chat. So I know we have some people that are answering those, and we will hopefully have time for some Q&A at the end. All right, let's take a moment to see what some of these things look like in action in our product, just to give you a sense of not just the slide and the GIF, but what this workflow actually looks like. We'll use a very simple example today of setting up that XML feed in Handshake's product so that you are automating getting your jobs onto Handshake. And then we'll look at how to create a segment for a campaign in the most efficient way. This is that auto population of filters that we just saw. And then we'll continue through the campaign flow to see dynamic targeting and a few other ways that you can continue nurturing the talent in your pipeline. So let me toggle here and jump right in. So first, we'll talk about the XML feed. After you have actually set up the feed, so that's your team or your third-party job feed provider, that you have set up your feed that matches the requirements that Handshake has set. You'll come into Handshake. Customers can do this today self-serve who have Talent Engagement Suite. And within company settings, you'll see, excuse me, I need some water here. You will see the job feed tab. And this is where you will add your XML link and start to validate the process to make sure that your feed is set up correctly. We just launched this feature about a month ago and are continuously improving to make sure that it's as easy as possible to get set up and start making this automation possible. And one of those ways is by field mapping. So if you think about, you may have a field in your XML feed that says employment type. We're making it possible for you to map the way that that field is structured in your feed to how the field needs to look in Handshake. And this would be done at scale. It's a one-time set it and forget it so that we can recognize and pick up the fields that are in your XML feed. From there, the next and final step is setting up your default job details. So this is for 3 key categories: for work authorization, setting up your benefits that apply to all of your roles, and potentially, this is optional, but some other perks that your company may offer. So again, this is something that you can set up self-serve in the XML job feed tab within company settings. And make sure that these filters are set up for all of your roles that are automatically ingested from your ATS onto Handshake. All right, now let's pretend all of our jobs are magically imported to Handshake and automatically imported to Handshake with those simple steps. And now we want to send out a job campaign. So here I am in Talent Engagement Suite. I'm on our campaigns tab here on the left-hand side, and I'm going to start creating my campaign. You can see that we could set a campaign for a few different objects, right? We could set a campaign for an event, for a career fair that we might be attending. The most common use case is to set it for a job campaign, which is what we'll do today. From here, you'll select the job that you're building the campaign for. And this is where, when you walk through how you want to define your audience or build your segment, is another way to say that, we recommend creating a new segment. This is where Handshake will automatically populate the segment filters based on the job description for that job that we just selected. And again, this is why we recommend this as the proposed way. You can select or unselect as many filters as you need here, apply those major groups, the location, and continue on with your flow, where you will craft your message, ideally using a template so that you can scale personalized messaging that stays on brand. And as we continue moving through this flow, as mentioned earlier, this is where you will see the dynamic targeting feature. It is auto-enabled. We recommend keeping it turned on. And again, there's no additional lift needed from you to use dynamic targeting. This is the feature that will optimize your campaign send to make sure that your message is resonating with qualified pools of talent. Just to round out our campaign flow there. So let's say your message goes out, and from here, I just want to talk a quick minute on how you may use some of our other capabilities like talent list to continue nurturing and engaging those qualified candidates that you have, whether that's for jobs or for events. Talent list data is always refreshing to stay in line with what the candidate data has. And this is how you can maintain your personalized outreach to be accurate and do so at scale. And using some of the advanced filters to target candidates that may have applied to a job, followed your brand page. If you had run an event, you could follow up specifically with candidates who had RSVP'd to an event. And this is just, again, a really great way to continue nurturing that talent that comes into your pipeline after you've started some of your outreach activities. Last step here, I would be remiss not to mention just that you can continue to check into your analytics to inform those strategies as you go and look into insights of your campaigns, your brand engagement, your messaging to further optimize each season. All right, I am going to head back into our content here and dive into our last section because I know we're going to come up on time shortly. And want to take a moment to talk a bit about the product roadmap with some AI features that are on the horizon, launching very soon, as well as some updates that are coming for our Handshake basic plan this fall. So if that is you, you'll definitely want to tune into this part of our session today. When it's time to reach out to candidates, again, this is coming very soon. So kind of like that flow that we just saw in the product. We're continuing to make enhancements to that. So when it's time to reach out to candidates, we're trying to making messaging faster and more effective. With AI-powered direct messaging, Handshake will help you personalize direct outreach using candidate profile data, resume details, and job context without requiring you to write every message from scratch. So as you can see here, this Write with AI section where you can thumbs up or thumbs down the AI generated message. You can easily edit this message, but really this is meant to give you that AI-powered assist to save you time on crafting that message that feels really personal to the talent that you're trying to reach. The result here is really fast outreach that feels, again, personal. It lands better because it's pulling from those key attributes of the candidate and driving a stronger response rate. In addition, we're introducing a suite of new AI-powered applicant management features that help you quickly identify your target applicants and easily learn more about their application and why they're a good fit for your specific roles. So again, these two features I'm talking about here in the AI section, they are launching soon and they are still in beta and testing for our Talent Engagement Suite customers. But we're really excited to bring these efficient workflows to the day-to-day tasks that you all are, dealing with to take on this challenge of applicant management, which we know there's a high volume of applicants across a lot of customers that we work with. So here in the applicant management front, the three things that stick out are employer criteria inputs. This is where Handshake AI will parse your job description and provide a set of criteria that helps you refine your applicant pool. This is great because you can adjust that criteria, and that upfront work is automated to save you time. The second one here is around a recommended applicant list in this kind of split pane view to help you more efficiently look through your applicants. So this list is automatically generated with AI based off, again, your inputs and how well the candidate's application matches your criteria. This recommended list helps you move quickly to qualify applicants that fit your needs. And last but not least, the one that is in a beta and wrapping up this quarter. To make it faster and easier, we have applicant explainer window on the right side of the screen here that summarizes the match of that specific recommended candidate and your job criteria and description. This helps your team, make quick decisions about the applicants that are coming through your applicants there. This is really all about getting the strongest candidates in faster ways without that manual backlog review that so many teams we talked to today are dealing with. All right, so that's the AI section there. We also wanted to take this time to let you know about some key features currently on our Handshake Basic plan that will be moving into our Enterprise plan this fall. This will affect how your team currently operates if you are on our Handshake Basic plan. And this is really being done to help align our offerings and solutions with our customers' use of the platform. And we're updating functionality related to access to jobs, user controls, and collaboration. Those are the three key areas. So teams that want to continue to use Handshake for scaled recruiting will need to upgrade, to Talent Engagement Suite. And just to be specific here about what's changing for fall 2025 on that Handshake Basic plan, for job and candidate access, there will be limited posting windows. We will be removing candidate last names, and there will be some limitations to candidate history. On the user control front, the ability to assign representatives will be removed, as well as ability to transfer ownership or manage user access. Lastly, on the collaboration front, our Handshake Basic users will lose the ability to edit jobs and events and share notes and labels that may be on a candidate's profile, and really want to be transparent and open about these updates. So there is some published information on our help center about these changes. If you have not heard yet, you should receive an email about these changes that are coming. But more importantly, our team is really here to talk with you about your strategies, your back to school season goals, and what your team needs to be set up for success in order to, again, reach qualified talent, hit your company and team goals that you're looking to achieve. So looking forward to talking with your teams more about this, and please reach out if you have any questions. All right, I know we are coming up on time here. So as we round out, here are two quick things you can do as you're planning for this fall season. First, you can scan the QR code here to check out some recent blogs with tips and tricks that span both our basic and our talent engagement suite offerings on how to have more proactive sourcing, automate job posting, some best practices on how to build your brand, which is a perfect segue because I know we didn't talk much about brand today, but this is really your moment ahead of the back to school season to check out the Handshake feed, share content, post a video, an image, share just a text post, whether it's a behind the scenes content, engaging your interns to post on the feed, or building your strategy and thinking about how you might have a strategy for a fall season with some great content on the feed. We encourage you to, again, talk with our teams if you have questions around this. This is really your moment to build that up before the fall season. And actually, last slide here is that before you wrap, if you have enjoyed today's session, learned a lot, and want some more content about brand and sourcing and automated job posting and what's to come with AI, we have got another session teed up for you. We're giving our summer school attendees, so that's you all here on the call today, early access to register for our upcoming back to school boot camp, which is a two-part webinar series happening August 20th and August 27th. You'll hear from top recruiting teams at MUFG Bank, so many other awesome companies that you'll want to hear what they're doing to check out their best practices, as well as insights from career services pros, real students, and Handshake experts. So you can register by scanning the QR code here on the screen. And I think that my colleague also dropped in the URL in the chat if you are interested in going ahead and signing up for that. Awesome. Lots of people already registered for boot camp. You guys are on it. This is great. All right, with that, I know that we have about 30 seconds left, and I think a lot of questions have been answered in the chat. But let me just do a quick read through. Registered. And I know, again, we're coming up on time here. Okay. I think that we'll go ahead and wrap. I think that a lot of questions have been answered here directly. And with that, just want to say thank you for joining us today. I hope that the insights shared and best practices for what you can do on our basic plan as well as talent engagement suite are inspiring as you head into your back to school season strategy conversations. And would love to hear from you. Your feedback is very important into how we inform the future sessions. And I think that there will also be a link for a survey at the end of this session. And yes, I can share the QR code again on the back to school boot camp. All right, thank you so much everyone for joining. I think someone also shared the link for boot camp, so I want to make sure people can sign up that want to. All right, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day and week, and we'll talk to you soon.